Good morning, dear students and listeners. Let's start our lesson. Let me introduce myself. Toshkent Institute of Irrigation and Agriculture Mechanization Engineers, PhD student of Automation and Control of Technology process, Ozod Fezos. And today we'll talk about the applications of relay in electropneumatics. We'll talk about how you can use relays, classic relays, in a modern technology process with the segments of automation. You will learn how to read schemes of these connections and how you can use in practice. Today we'll talk about the practice, and again only about the practice. You will take knowledge which you can use in your work and become a good specialist. Before we start our lesson, I recommend you this type of books, not only these books. Today I'll take all information from this book. Name is Fundamentals of Automation Technology. Give attention that it's a technical book. I want to say that for our dear students, take a lot types of these technical books because they have a practical applications, practical informations, and it's very, I think, cool and nice to use for students. Here I give information, and all of them is in open source. You can download it from internet and use and read. Good luck, dear students. Let's start. Today we'll talk about the general information. What is that? The electropneumatic sets and the relays. How you can use them and how we can make systems in general. We'll talk about some little bit theory. And then 4 types of connection. This relays using the push buttons and relay combination to make actions in electropneumatic units. They are direct and indirect control user relays and controlling double action cylinders and parallel connection and using semi-logic elements. It's a semi-logic relays. And then a serial connection with the AND logic. Both of them, OR and AND, is based on a Boole logic, which is very close to our PLC connection and programmistic language. So let's start with the example. Dear students, do you know what is that? Of course, it's a cocaine. And a lot of people love it. And did you know that more than 1,010,000 servings of cocaine products and consume it every day? I think it's a very big number. And of course, employers don't take a bottle and spill the cocaine for the bottle and close them by their hands and in bottle cork. If you compare this image, it will look like that. Yeah, I think it's a lot, yeah. And they have a special technology to make this. And it's based on electropneumatic units. And today we'll talk about how make Coca company their technology to make so large number and values of their product and sell. And let's talk about the general information about the relays. Relay is an electrical operation switch. It consists of a set of input terminals and signals of multiple control signal and a set of operation contact terminals. It means that we have a coil. In a coil you make electromagnetic action and it will move the key of connect and then make electric circulation. Very simple. According to the number of coil and their value, your period of work according to the voltage change. It means that action will be linked for the value of voltage which you give. So it's very useful when you have a lot of type of different actions in technology process with different voltage. You can connect a relay and make your system to the automatical work. Okay, we talk about the relay. Let's talk about this electropneumatic actions. Is a control system by the means of air pressure, and for pipe organs, where air pressure make an action, and after result, it's reorganized to the start place, according to the electrical current and operation by the keys of organ console. Open and closed valves within wind sheets, allowing the pipes to speak. We have a lot of types of pipes. which consists of inner body part of electropneumatics, and circulation of air, and making high kinetic energy in a work part, make a pressure and moving action. These actions you can use for everything, which use it for making pressure in air circulation. And I give you an example like in Coke company. Why? Because split of a Coke liquid for the bottle and closing them is based on the pressure work. So Coke company using this electropneumatic sets with the relay contacts and make their process fast and effective. Again, relay plus electropneumatic unit, and we will have this technology. Let's see closer what is that. This is a pressure machine of the all drinking companies which you use. Here come the bottle, again with the pressure, they move the all actions, the all vehicles, all technology which around here is based on electropneumatics work. And all of them consists their own relay contact unit, and this relay contact units make production well and do it faster with a big value without losing a lot of energy, time, and you don't need to take us a lot of employers. In this time and this type, relay is very useful. In the last lesson, I told you that program controllers, PLC, is pushing out the relays, but in controller shields, not in all process. Here, relay is more useful because they're expensive than controllers. So it's useful when you need expensive technology to use. Okay, let's start about our examples of connection, how you can make relay controller systems for electropneumatics. First is direct and indirect control using relays. What's that direct and indirect control? When you, one by one, start to work, you see electropneumatic unit and start to work, just push button, and electropneumatics work, start to work, it means that direct connection. In direct connection, you will have a set special display tip moving, like some kind of this. Let's imagine that here we have push button, and you use the push button, and action unit will start in some different place, which stay in your factory and manufacturer place. It's indirect connection. What the difference between them? Let's see it closer. Here is stream of example in which we talk about. A is a unit, pressure machine, and B and C. B is direct connection type of relay application units, and indirect is C. Let's see it closer. Here, first, let's give attention, dear students, for number 1A. Stream is electropneumatic circuit diagram. Here, our pneumatic machine have three places. First, pressure incoming, and here we have a actuator, and then from 2, it's come to 3. 3 is the pressure result of action. For example, closing a bottle, which you spill the Coke. And here we have a B and C. Let's read this, how it looks like. In a downside, M1 is a coil of the relay. It's showing like this form. Remember, students, everywhere they showing like this, in this symbol. Next one is a K1. K1 is a connection, a connector of the relay. And S1 is a push button. Usually you see it in your cellular, on your TV controller, a simple classical push button which we use. And here we have a special element which showing with the lines in the electropneumatic diagram. In all the stream which use it in all Europe, not only in all Europe, in all world, they showing like that, in these symbols. Remember, students, if you work in production in future, it will be very important information for you. And let's talk about the diagram, how it works. C1 is a press button. You push them, and then this circuit line is closed, and a common voltage in 24, and -24, and relays make a connection and electropneumatics is start to work. And let's talk about the C, which is indirect controller. You have a push button, S1, and you press this button. Then it's come to the coil of our relay. When the relay take enough value of voltage and electromagnetic field, it's start to connect your K1, and then electropneumatics is start to work. If we see generally basic, these two processes are same, but we have a one different number here. The C, you can use them in a lot different value of voltage, not only in 24. For example, in a classic relay coil which we use here, you can use it from 24 till 230. And in this place, it's useful for big voltage units. It could be useful. If you work with a low voltage, you can use a directly connection system. And here let's see the one by one. Here a single action cylinder shown in our stream, and the solenoid exerts the pulling force, as you see in the downside. The wheel is switch to the action position, and the pistol rod advanced. Most important segment of electropneumatic work is piston, which have electropneumatics, because moving of pistons make it this pressure in a pipe of electropneumatic machine. And most important segment is a start to work piston inside of the pipe in electropneumatic unit. In C1, yeah, again, here give important to the contact of K1, which is shown here. K1 is relay that closes, and the directly control will switch, and the piston will advance it. According to the closing, if K1 now closed and voltage is not enough to work, processes don't start. It didn't start because here we have a indicator of voltage or value. If it's not enough, processes don't start. You need to take enough voltage for K1. We can say that it's a special protection system at the same time. This is a scheme for using of according to the voltage and protection from low voltage. And let's talk about the next scheme which we have. Here we have a controlling of double action cylinders. What is that, the double action cylinders? I'd like to make an example. We have a one pipe and piston of work. They have two hollows, and these two hollows have pipes, and it's come to two different units of work. One of them is moving line. Next one is a stamping, I don't know, any mark. When a piston is work, in the first place, piston will come first section. Your line is start to move. When it's come to second place, it's to make a stamp for the product which you put. So you can make it two different actions in one machine, in pressure machine, according to the work of cylinder. Let's see it closer. Here we have. As you see here, in A and B, we have a different combination of pipes, air pressure pipes, circles. One of them is have X line. It means that first process is start, and then this pressure combined to the place. First is go the energy to pipe, again continue the reaction. And next one is B. Here just it's give a pressure to the lines, now come back to the pipe and cylinder, to the piston again. And we have this here, the double action differences. And the piston root of double action cylinder is to advance when the push bottom S1, here as you show in the downside, is activated, and retract when the push bottom is realized. Okay, let's see the closer. I can say that this is very same that with the before, which we use in the first stream, but if we have a little bit different thing, is that the two cylinders have to be executed of the pressure when they have a position of 4-2 and 5-2. Let's see that again. Go to the back. Here the again. See the back. Yeah, here. Let's see the closer. 5-2 and 4-2. In a 5-2, 5 is going the result of action, and 4-2 is just comebacking. And different of push bottoms, we have when we use in D form, this pressure is come back. Here, in a D form, the pressure is come back to the pistol, and you will economize the pressure which you use to reorganization of work in cylinder and pistol and electropneumatic unit. Next one is a logic operation using relays. Logic operations based on semi-logic units and relays, which in contact. They don't base it on any coil or electromagnetic. They base it on the changing of your contacts and combination according to the Boole logic. As you know, it's and or else. The three-element rules and algorithms based on the logic using functionals of relay. First, we will talk about the OR operation. What is that OR operation? You know from your informatics, from a course of your school in the class of 5 and 6. You know enough. I don't want to stop and make a point on this. Here we'll talk about the parallel connection. We have two push bottoms. Now, it's a difference chain. And these two bottoms, these push bottoms, triggered using of two independent inputs. Without the connection of two push bottoms, technology process not start to work. Here the two push bottoms must work in one line. If you push one and other one is stopped, you don't use this, technology process not start. Why we use it? In a safety process. For example, we have a lot in metal manufacturers. They make a pressure of the metal for cars, for example. They have a very big pressure. If employer, worker, put his hand for this pressure, it will be very, I think, tragical. And to defend this process, use this logic operation. There, in the size is little, and don't take so large size like a classic relays. Let's see the closer. Here the operations relay in a logical place have three operations. One of them is neither push bottom is activated. It means that two push bottoms is activated, and it means that process is down start. And if the last one of the two push bottoms is activated, one of them is activated, it means that process is not enough. And if the push bottoms are realized in the push panels, it's open. It means that technology processes start. Here, push bottoms S1 and S2 have two positions. It's connection and disjunction. It's like plus and plural. Difference between the first and the third is that one of them don't have any connection, and the third one have only one connection. According to the OR rule, if you have a signal in one line and you don't have signal in the last one block, it means that you don't have signal. Okay, let's talk about the serial connection and operation. What is that in operation? Again, it's the Boole logic was an operation. It means if you have only one signal in incoming of block, logic block, a signal is coming out and you will have any result. Here, what we can use here. Let's imagine that we have in one line cylinder, push bottom S1 and S2, when they are activated to this, and the contacts of the two push bottoms are arranged and serial in the circuit diagram. If you don't push them in the same time, not only pushing them in one combination, you must push them in the same time. If you do it in the same time, process will start. If you don't do it, if you late for any second, in a couple of seconds, this technology process is over and don't start. It's just stay in one place. And let's see it closer in our technology stream, how it's work. Here we have a C and D. One of them is direct, and D1 is indirect connection. Here, as long as neither push button or just one of them and two push buttons activated, is somewhere in this action S1 and S2, it's equal to O. It means that we don't have any technology process. And here, if the push buttons are activated similarly and similar in one this action is S1 and S2, it will be equal to O, as you know, 1. As you know, 1 in bull technology, it means that start of technology process. And it's the same. And the last one, if we don't use any push buttons in realizing, it means that we don't have a technology process. Here, here you can see them that they put it in one line. And in a D, here the all voltage is come to the coil, and then coil connection, and work the pushing machine. As you can see here, this all the operations, it's in a double connection like before, which we do. For OR and AND, we use the same pressure machine as electropneumatic unit, they're the same, but connection is just changed with the using of AND element and the two push buttons in one line, not in parallel form, only in one line in the same analogy. Here only simple the push button calculation is change all technology process. So what's interesting here? Yeah, just changing push button place. It's a new technology process. What's the awesomeness is electric circuit. Most important in the using of this logic element realize is knowing these rules enough and taking to the according that in this elements you use a 24 voltage and volt. This 24 volts it will come out of this process. It's mean this your semi-logical element is destructed and destroyed, and you lost not only technology process but your acting pressure machine too. And in the end of my lesson, I want to make a very great thanks to administration of Toshkent Institute of Irrigation and Agriculture Mechanization, and for administration of International House Academic License, and for special thanks for TV UZREPORT for this good and very high range experts work in this translation. I want to say the thanks for all students which listen us. You was the best listeners. I hope that we'll see you again, and thank you for your attention. Work more, study more, and you will be the best more than other people. Goodbye. See you next time.